What are the frameworks that we use and agencies use to sign more clients? Today, I'm going to be walking through how we generate more than 10 high-ticket clients every single month, and how we do it and how you can take that framework and implement it into your agency to get more appointments, more clients, and more revenue. If you don't know who I am, my name is Laurence, and I've built and scaled 2 agencies, Laurence Marketing and now Hey You, where we help other agencies by putting appointments onto their calendar. So I wanted to walk through was really the framework behind the way that we think when it comes to generating appointments. And what we really want to get to is this kind of business nirvana, I guess, where we can control the outputs by just increasing the inputs. So what I mean by that is having choice over how many clients we generate each month, because we have a very scalable system and a very predictable system where if we just increase the inputs to that system, whether it's amount of outreach done, whether it's ad spend, whatever it may be, then we're going to have a equal output, which is generally meaning more clients. As you can see on my screen here, there's really 3 things that all agencies need to focus on. And ultimately, there's a lot of moving parts to an agency. But when you can distill it to these 3 things, then you're going to make your life an awful lot easier. And outreach could be replaced with generating sales calls or generating appointments, because outreach is just one method of doing that. But in this example, I want to share with you how we generate sales calls and clients, high-ticket clients, and we do it through outreach. So instead of telling you what to do, I'm just going to share with you what we do and what works for us. And understanding that this here is a system and that they don't work individually. They all work as part of the same cohesive system. And we can zoom into each individual aspect of the system, but remembering that your outreach is going to have an impact on your sales calls, and that your sales calls are going to have an impact on your client delivery, and that your client delivery is going to have an impact on your sales calls and your outreach, and they all impact one another a lot. So we need to use some kind of like systems thinking here as opposed to looking at each individual element. But when we zoom into each individual element, we can kind of zoom in slightly and look at different elements of it. So within outreach, there should be more systems as well. Inside the system, there is another system. And this is the way that we look at it, is we're going to create something and we're going to see whether or not it produces results. And in this case, it is more sales calls. And if the answer is yes, we then say to ourselves, so it's like, first of all, can it produce, you're going to love my handwriting here, can it produce results? And then if it can, we're then looking at the system. We're saying, can we improve, I'll just put efficiency. Can we improve efficiency? Can we get more juice from the squeeze? So that might be like, can we look at changing the messaging slightly? Can we look at removing poor quality leads that aren't our right fit? So how can we basically get the same results or better results from the same or less work? So maybe we can remove bad leads and we still get the same number of appointments booked, but we're contacting 30% less people. So can we improve efficiency? And then can we scale it? Now, this is where I think most people go wrong. And this is what kind of the crux of the video. This is the main message that I wanted to convey here, is that people are like, can I scale it? So let's say, for example, we've got this system. We're getting our leads, we're putting them into a system, we're sending some emails, and on an average month, it is generating us, we're doing some outreach, and it is generating us 10 appointments. So we've scaled it, and it's kind of generating us 10 appointments. We're doing a reasonable amount of it. What most people do there is they say, right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do twice as many. I'm going to send out twice as many, and therefore I'm going to get 20 appointments because I'm getting 10 originally. I'm going to do twice as much input and I'm going to get twice as much output. Now that might work, especially at these kind of levels. But let's say we do it again and we want to double it again and we go from 20 to 40. But what you might find is that instead of going from 20 to 40, you might go to 22, or you might go down to 14. And your months of appointments, let's say this is appointments here and this is time, your number of appointments, if we were to look at it on a graph, goes something like that. And it's up and down and it's not consistent. And that causes chaos in your business because you don't know where your next clients are coming from. You don't know what next month is going to look like. You can't plan, you can't grow, and you can't do it predictably, consistently, and without it keeping you up at night, basically. The problem lies here when it goes from you double again and you try and go from 20 to 40 as an example, and it doesn't happen. It's because the foundations of what you're trying to scale aren't built properly. What people try to do is they try to, if we picture like foundations of a house or a building, and they've got this house and it's kind of low to begin with, and then they stack another house on top of it and it works fine, and then they stack another house on top of that house and there's still the same foundations. Before long, it starts to break. That's what everybody does, or 99% of people do. And here's what people should do. They should just rebuild the exact same system again. So with the same foundations. So instead of trying to push the same system over and over again, they should just rebuild it. So here's what I mean by that. We've got this outreach system here, outreach, that is delivering us 10 appointments. Now we could scale it and get to 20 appointments. And that's fine. So maybe we scale this and we get to 20, but we've got to know when to stop, when we're going to get diminishing returns from our efforts. What we need to do is we need to see what is in this outreach system. So maybe we have a bunch of emails. We have an email sending tool. So we have an email tool. We have a lead sourcing method. Maybe we're fortunate enough to have a VA that runs all this. What we need to do is understand all the elements of what this outreach system looks like and just go and build them all again, but build them all completely separately from one another. So they're not linked at all. So when I mean by not linked, I mean we need new email addresses. The new email addresses need to be on new domains. A new email sending tool. We can use the same software, but we need to use a different login of that software. So we can't just throw loads more emails into Instantly, for example, and expect to get the same results. Instantly will say that you can and that you will and it won't matter. And Logic will say that, but trust me, we've done this dozens of times and we've tried to scale the existing system to breaking point, and you do get it. We can break it, basically. So you need to build things in silos. So as going back to that metaphor of that house, instead of trying to build a house on top of another house on top of another house with the same foundations, and yes, we might add a bit of foundations to it, we might add a few more email addresses, we might add a couple more domains, but we're not building the core function of the foundations. Instead of doing that, we just need to build another house and scale that house before it breaks, and then stop and then scale another one before it breaks. So we are scaling at a more horizontal level than a vertical level. And if you're familiar with running ads at all, that is a great way to scale ads. And that's what we used to do for our clients for many years. And we used to implement this horizontal scaling method. And now we do the exact same thing for generating appointments, not only for ourselves, but for our clients as well. You want to make sure that when it comes to your outreach, you are scaling horizontally. So get what works, scale it to the point of you still being happy with the returns that you're getting, the juice that you're getting from your squeeze, and then keep that running. Don't be tempted to scale it and improve it. Start again. Yes, it's going to cost you more money, but outreach is an extremely high return on investment when you make sure that your sales calls and your client delivery, your service delivery are where they need to be. I hope that makes sense. That's what we do to get hundreds of appointments every single month and sign high-paying clients, obviously, off the back of that. So I hope this has helped. If you want some help generating more appointments and you want somebody to come in and do this for you and build this inside your business, then first link in the description, click that to find out more. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and we will see you on the next one.